Hey guys, and welcome back to the Deep Threats Podcast. I hope you guys are here and happy to watch some football. Oh wait, no, that's not here. What is going on? All of a sudden, we got some blurriness. Oh, you know, that might just be my Wi-Fi.
It probably is.
That's probably
let me check.
My stuff not updated. Hey guys, if the cameras are blurry in chat, please let me know. Been watching those MLB play. You know what? I agree. I stopped watching baseball a long time ago. I hope they're going good. I really do. I hope they're going good.
It's not blurry.
But
yeah, my O's lost. So
did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
How
dare you root for a Baltimore team?
This is I'm hated in my family.
He roots for a Baltimore team.
I love Cleveland Browns.
Well, as always, you have me, the host, Wheels, right here. We wanted to start a little early, have some conversation, and then jump right into it today.
Redheaded stepchild.
Go ahead, redheaded stepchild. Scoot into the camera too.
I love the Browns. I'm rooting for the Bills because I've loved Josh Allen since he was at Wyoming. And then you go to hockey. I'm a huge Pens fan because my late stepfather got me into hockey. And then you turn it over to basketball. I really don't watch much. Cavs. And then
didn't get him.
Baseball is the Cleveland Indians, yes, they're the Indians, and the Baltimore Orioles. So between that, I'm a Baltimore fan, a Pens fan, a Pittsburgh fan, and a Cleveland fan. So I'm a little hated, but it's all right.
I mean, I hate you right now.
That's okay. Well, you saw me when I wore my Penguins jersey.
You're a Tri-City fan.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
I know.
It's disgusting. All right. So I guess a few things we want to get into today. I called it. Right? That's the first thing we're going to get into.
You called both games. I called the one upset.
I said the undefeated will go down defeated, and both undefeated teams got defeated yesterday, so I did call that. I did say they'd be close games. I actually said the Browns would be a 1-point game. Was it?
Yeah, I said Philly would be 3.
It was a 2-point game, right? It was 19-17?
Yeah, I said Philly would win by 3. I was wrong.
Yeah,
you took both. The only game that we did not hit on was the Carolina game. We thought that was going to be an upset, and it was different once there was 8 minutes left in the second. It kind of
give me over. Some easy NFL. What is ML picks?
Moneyline picks
for this upcoming week.
I gotta do some research.
Hold on, bro.
Some injuries.
You need to come back Thursday for that because we're probably gonna have a fairly long show Thursday just because of the fact that Wheels will not be here this upcoming Sunday.
We can do Saturday morning if you want.
Are you gonna be here in the morning?
Yeah, I'll be here Saturday. I'm leaving here around 11 to go to my brother's house and then go to my dad's Saturday. So if you want to do a Saturday morning show, we can.
Look at him. He's already jumping into it. I don't know. Well, I'll have Wheels pulled up on his phone while we get into this, and then we'll try to give you some easy money line picks. I don't know if there's anything called easy in the NFL, to be completely honest with you. Because when you truly think about these teams this year, everything that you thought was easy actually was an upset, right? Like the upsets we saw this year are disgusting so far.
I should have thrown money. You should have thrown money on the Jets.
I should have thrown money on the upsets. I should have thrown the money on the upset. But I was actually so busy. By the time I left here, I went to church, got out of church, went to Ryan's. I sat down on the couch. It was already 1:30, so I missed a good portion of even the Browns game.
Okay. So
easy money line picks. I ain't going to say this too fast, but the Browns, because they play the Colts with Gardner Minshew going up against the top 10 defense or top 5 defense. Buffalo against the Patriots. Because I'm going to assume that Buffalo's air raid is going to take out the Patriots in this game. It is a division game, so it's a little harder of a decision. Washington against the Giants, to me, those are easy.
Yeah, the Steelers don't play the Raiders.
No, the Steelers play the Rams. The Steelers play the Raiders week 5.
I think that's what he meant was the Rams.
Oh, yeah, Steelers play the Raiders week 5, I think, or week 4. Steelers-Rams, I don't like that game. I wouldn't touch it because if Stafford shows up, that could be a completely different game.
Washington-Giants, I would take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all the 1 o'clock games,
I don't like them.
No, I do. I like the Browns. I like Buffalo. I like Washington. The game of the week's probably going to be Detroit-Baltimore. I would almost say I like the Raiders over the Bears, but to be honest, the way the Raiders have been playing this year,
I like the Raiders because
Aiden O'Connell's playing. Well,
Justin Fields is going to be out, pretty much. From what I'm hearing, he's out this week.
They're both out then.
He's out.
They're both out. Jimmy G's not in either, I think.
No,
because he went to the hospital.
Aiden O'Connell, so you got Jimmy G out. You have
Aiden O'Connell against my boy, Tyson Bagent. Boy's coming back. His dad arm wrestled people live on camera at the combine. And he won. He won. I like Tyson Bagent. He came out of a very small school. And he got invited to the combine. So I'm actually a huge fan of this kid. So I actually will watch that game. The London game?
Is there another London game this week? Jeez.
No.
No,
The
there's
Thursday
not.
game.
Thank the Lord.
The Thursday game, I will take the Jacksonville Jaguars if T-Law's playing.
From what I'm hearing, there's a lot. So
It's looking on the upside.
It's-
They said it
well,
might be. It's a tweaked knee, but it's on the upside.
It's 50-50. I don't know if but it was a 50-50 shot that he plays.
Yeah,
I would take the Falcons over Tampa.
I'm not touching that game. I'm not touching that game.
Call me crazy, but I think that team and that offense is starting to gain traction, which I said last week.
It's a divisional game, right?
Yes. Which I said last week that team would gain more traction from their last week loss. They are starting to find themselves on the offensive side of the ball. And right now, Desmond Ridder did not look good last game, but guess what? He's still slinging the ball.
I'll give you my upset of the week.
Well, Detroit beating the Ravens.
Chargers beating the Chiefs.
I have the Chargers winning the next 2 games tonight and the Chiefs. So,
Tonight's going to be a little tough, like I said. But I have the Chargers beating the Chiefs.
I don't know if it's going to be tough. I think Austin Eckler is going to be all over the field tonight, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. All right. I hope that helps you. Steelers will beat the Rams like 17-10. You think that...
I don't think
Hold
so.
on. First things first.
Kenny Pickett.
Kyren's out.
Kyron's out.
So
He's out.
Is my boy starting? Zach Evans?
Is he on the ring?
He's been a healthy scratch for like the last 6 weeks.
Hold on. Let me look at the depth chart.
I don't think he's starting again. They're probably going to healthy scratch him. I finally had to drop him in Dynasty.
They don't know how, ever since Todd Gurley left, they don't know how to use running backs. I swear. The Rams are awful at trying to use running backs.
I disagree.
Zach
I disagree.
Evans, well, Kyron Williams is doubtful and Ronnie Rivers are both doubtful this week. So it's
going to be Zach Evans.
Guy is Zach Evans.
It's Zach Evans. That's what I'm saying. I like Zach Evans.
Is he the kid out of Northwestern? Or was it I think it was Northwestern. He was in the Senior
I think it was a blue team. Was it USC? Might have been the running back out of USC.
You might be right.
No, that was Charbonnet. That was Charbonnet. Zach Evans was
TCU.
TCU. Yep.
Oh, no, he played with TCU before playing 1 season with Ole Miss in 2022.
Ole Miss, and he popped off at Ole Miss. He was actually in the top 5 in our running back rankings. Mm-hmm. We still have those. So I'm not a fan of the Steelers game just because if Matt Stafford shows up with Cooper Kupp and Puka, and this is Cooper's 3rd week back and
Steelers,
comfortable week.
And we just went through it. The Steelers secondary is not good.
Well, outside of Minka, which is so...
he's going to be on Cooper.
They're not going to throw deep. No, he's not. Minka's a safety. They're not going to throw deep on Minka. What they're going to do is Cooper's going to be a yak guy. He's going to catch the ball within 10, get to 15 or 18, and that's what it's going to be. So if I were to put money on it, I'd probably bet on the Rams.
At home?
Is it in? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. The Steelers traveling a 4:00 game. I mean, granted, I agree. I would agree that you have 2 weeks to prepare because you're coming off a bye.
Yeah, but your quarterback's Kenny Pickett.
But I will say with TJ,
I loved him coming out of the draft. He's not
how about
good.
the Chargers Cowboys tonight? Well, you were the one that did that to us. Okay, the Chargers Cowboys tonight. We'll get into that.
There we go. It fixed itself.
Did it? I was driving me insane. You want to jump into that first?
Yeah, let's jump into the...
Since he's already got us talking about games?
Yeah, let's jump. So I'm going to take the Chargers in this game. I'll do some player props for you. Just shoot me 10% when you win tonight, all right? So I like Keenan Allen, 5 receptions, 65 yards. I like Joshua Palmer, 3 receptions, over 35 yards. I like Austin Eckler, 4 receptions, over 35 yards. I think he also has 150 total yards. Call me crazy, but I think him coming back, he is healthy, he's ready to go. He's going to run it on Dallas because I think Dallas's run defense outside of Minka is a fraud. That may be just because I hate Dallas as a whole, but
Minka or Micah?
Yeah, Minka. Minka.
Do you mean Micah Parsons?
Minka Parsons?
You're ridiculous. This is why I have to be on camera when he speaks.
I'm so sorry.
For some reason, my button's not working.
I would take Justin Herbert to throw 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And Dak to throw 2 interceptions.
Oh, no, I lost you in chat, bro.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no, I didn't. I don't know why I have 2 channels.
I like the Chargers straight. I don't know what that line is, but I like them straight. I'm guessing the Chargers are probably going to be getting 4.5.
So the line is, I think it is 4.5 actually. No, Dallas favored by 1.5.
Really? Oh, okay.
Going
so
into LA. Over under is 50.5.
I take the over. I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
Just an FYI, every time I try to do my graphics, I try to put the home team on the right. Unless I screw it up.
You did say that.
Unless I screw it up,
say that, so.
I always put the home team on the right and the away team on the
I'll
left.
have to throw a little parlay out tonight. Tony
Yeah,
Pollard, I think, will have a good night running. CeeDee Lamb, I think, will have a decent night. I think this is going to be a night where we see Brandon Cooks show up a little bit. Maybe like 3 catches for 40 yards. I mean, not much, but he might get a touchdown. That wide receiver room has been goofy the last couple of weeks because you got CeeDee, you have Michael Gallup, you have Brandon Cooks, and then that team is now without Dalton Schultz, so they have Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, Chargers are very good at home. Very good at home. They have a very loud stadium, and it's one of those things to where, that won't happen. Keep in mind, you have no Mike Williams. It's Quentin Johnston.
And he has yet to show up as a rookie.
Right. I mean, he has okay snaps. He catches the ball here and there, but it's not Addison production. It's not Zay Flowers production.
This was our biggest gripe on Quentin Johnston.
It's his route running.
Well, that and he's a body catcher. He doesn't catch a lot in stride, and Herbert hits guys constantly in stride. That's what I think the issue is.
What's the prop bet on Eckler? I would probably put Eckler over 60 rushing, over 50 passing, just because, like you said, the Dallas defense is kind of going to lack in that area. They're going to get after Herbert, and my only issue with Justin Herbert throwing the ball downfield is with the injured hand.
The over is 52.5. I would take the over all day long on that.
He's going to have an issue with the I know the injuries on his opposing or his opposite hand. But the problem is he's going to try to release the ball as quick as possible. So you're going to see a lot of underneath routes. You're going to see a lot of Austin Eckler dump offs. And as soon as someone gets to him, I mean, I would even, is it Higbee tonight, right? No,
Higbee.
It's
Ferguson.
What's the other kid? Not Evan Ingram. It's
the rookie. Oh no. Tight end for Dallas or tight end for
Chargers.
Oh, Perriman.
Is it
Donald Parman? I think his name.
No, Gerald Everett.
Gerald Everett.
Gerald Everett. That's why I said Evan Ingram, because it's the last name. So, but to me, like this one is a defensive battle. But when you have a guy like Justin Herbert who's just capable of whipping the ball down the field, and he doesn't turn it over, and I don't think Dallas is going to have a turnover this game because Dallas's secondary is their main turnovers come from Trayvon Diggs. That's why their takeaways are so high.
One interception.
I don't think so. You're talking about the guy who's turned over the ball once all year.
That's true.
So he's only thrown one interception all year. I probably should just open the door, to be honest. And then you can watch my kitty cat run around the bar. But yeah, so like if I'm gonna money line this game, and I'm not going to look at too much, what I would predict this game to me, and the only reason I would have Dallas winning this game is because they were coming off a bad week last week. Tony Pollard's going to run all over this Chargers defense that's soft.
Yeah, I think he will too. I think he's going to have like 80 yards and a touchdown.
I like CeeDee for probably 80. I like Michael Gallup for probably 40 or 50. Brandon Cooks has yet to really been anything different.
30 or 40 this game, a couple catches.
I'll put Dak probably around 220 with 2 interceptions.
That's what I said. I said 2 interceptions too. Asante Samuel Jr.
And it's only because he's going to have to throw the ball. Why are the Cardinals plus 315 underdogs at the Seahawks next week? Because the Cardinals' offense is horrendous, and the only thing they had going for them was their run game, and they have no run game now.
They have James Conner is non-existent.
DeMercado, and then they're going up against what we just looked up, Seattle as the best rush defense in the league at yards allowed per attempt.
Yep.
So Seattle does have a very good run defense. So that right there is probably for you. And you said they're going to Seattle. Seattle's one of the hardest places to play in.
Man.
Yeah. So that's probably it right there. So let me give you a score in this game. 24-17 22
So you're taking
Dallas. 24-22. Yeah.
I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take...
yeah. And let's be honest. Let's pay attention to what I've done this week. This week, I think I've only missed 3 picks, but every game was close.
I'm going to do 37-27.
The only game that I think I missed on really big was the Detroit game.
That was a...
Tampa Bay's offense didn't show up.
Baker had that early deflected touchdown or interception.
Tampa Bay didn't show up. So
No. And, I mean, we'll get into that with the breakdowns today, but... the under-overs are
What are you flying around like covers right now just looking at bets? He's everywhere right now. This is hilarious.
If you haven't already subscribed, man.
Yeah.
We are here for you.
Nah, he's there. He's just everywhere right now.
We got a Facebook page. If you have questions, shoot me a message.
You can do that if you have questions.
I'll be happy to answer them.
And I don't know whose opinions you guys like more because no one really says anything in the chat about our opinions. I know we're kind of crazy sometimes. Like I said, I called both undefeateds this week to go down, and they did go down in a weird fashion.
So, like I said, on TikTok, I get hated because I have a lot of outlandish takes. But
you must be a big better race.
I get it.
Because I'll tell you right now, Wheels does the same thing. He starts wandering. He starts wandering through the bets. He's like, oh, this one's an easy one right here. Okay. 30 cents here. Yeah. I can't do that. Like, I'll go big or go home. That's just how I am.
What's the problem? Like I said, the amount of money that I should have won, but I get screwed by
extra parlay.
Yeah, I've done multiple 13 leg parlays, and I get screwed by one leg. Like I needed,
But you do it the smart way. So like you pick a guy to go for 80 yards and 5 receptions.
Yeah.
Because how else is he going to get the 80 yards?
So that's the thing. You want to look at their average target. So with betting, you want to look at their average targets per game leading up to that game. And then you look at their average receiving yards, and you kind of break that down, and you look at if there's any. And then
you look at the defenses too.
Yeah, the defense, if they're going up against a top run defense or a top pass defense, that's where maybe you'll take one side of the ball more serious with the betting.
So going into this game, right? This Chargers game. What are the injuries in this game? Do we remember?
Eckler's back. Trayvon Diggs is out. Mike Williams is out. Trying to think what else for Dallas. I know Dallas is missing a linebacker, I think.
You know what? I actually am on injuries. I apologize. Malik Hooker, probable safety. I don't know about the linebacker. Hendershot's out for Dallas.
Is that the linebacker?
No, that's the tight end that they've been using.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
Cornerback, Trayvon Diggs, we already knew that. They have 2 wide receivers who are on IR. Durden and I don't know who Stevens. Oh, you're thinking Overshown.
Devin Overshown?
Yeah, Overshown's out he's on IR.
Okay.
And then they're missing a tackle. That's about it over there, which is kind of crazy. Parham is the tight end that has been really stepping up for the Chargers. He's probable. He has a wrist injury. Eckler is probable. He already said he was going to play. Justin Herbert has a broken, fractured finger. He's going to play with a cast on his non-throwing hand. Bosa is soft. If it wasn't for his nose, he wouldn't tackle anybody.
If the Chinese don't want you, then I don't.
I mean, the kid just has not stepped up. I expected Joey to be so much better than Nick, and
he's all talk.
He's all talk.
Dude
all talk.
He is emotionally soft.
So,
he could not take criticisms from fans. He was.
I mean, I like that he's outspoken, but when it comes to being outspoken, I want something to back it up. And being on the field for 6 games a year is not backing it up.
So this is the thing. I'm a huge Ohio State fan. I will root for you at Ohio State, but as soon as you come to the NFL, if you do not produce, I'm going to call you out.
Yeah,
there is no doubt. I will.
Curtis
call you
Samuel,
out. I don't care.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, last year he was good.
Man.
This year he looks good. I mean, it's just...
We're just going into Ohio State wide receivers who, by the way, Curtis Samuel was on the bottom of my radar, and now he's mid.
Penn State's going to get trashed this week.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. Hey, betting.
We can do that.
Hey, bet on that one race for me.
We can
bet on Penn State, please.
We should talk a little bit about
bet on Penn State.
College games on Saturday.
No, I'm not talking about college games. We need to go over this NFL stuff really quick. You guys have got me all sidetracked everywhere.
All right, let's go through the games. So I'm taking the Chargers. You're taking the Chargers. I have 37-27.
I took Dallas 24-22.
Well, it sucks to be you.
It does. This is one of those games where I just think Dallas is going to step up.
This is a trap game for Dallas.
No, it's not. It's a trap game for the Chargers because Dallas has already lost 2. They know they need to step up on offense. They know they have to step up on offense.
I don't know.
Dak has to throw.
I like the Chargers coming off the bye.
And to be honest, Brandon Cooks will be the X factor.
Well,
if he can hit Brandon Cooks deep.
That's what I said. This is the game that I see Brandon Cooks showing up.
Dolphins to beat the Eagle? Hell no. Do not bet on that game.
Stay as far away
The
from that
Dolphins
game
will not beat the Eagles because
the Dolphins have like the 29th ranked passing.
31st, literally 31st defense in the NFL for points allowed. And Philly has the capability of scoring all day on that team. I'll take the over. I'll take the over in that game.
Yeah, I take the over.
And Mostert will get stuffed in that game. Like, Mostert's going to struggle in that game. But I'll take the over in that game all day. Yeah, no way Dolphins beat the Eagles this Sunday.
No.
Games yesterday. So, out of the games yesterday, we had Washington, Atlanta. Who won that game? It was Washington, right?
I believe they did.
Washington won that game?
Yeah.
Because now
let me double check.
someone has me all over the place today.
Yeah, Washington won.
Okay, so Washington won that game. I didn't see much of that game. All I know is that Bijan didn't look too good. We kind of, I think we called.
Algier out attempted.
I think you had Atlanta in that game. I called Washington.
Yeah, and I like Bijan.
Sam Howell did throw for the amount of yardage I think I said he would. I think it was like 250. So Sam Howell did go off in that game. Which
Sam
was
Howell, no 151. He had the 3 touchdowns.
That's what it was. That's what it was. All right. And then obviously, so there wasn't too much to see in that game.
Ritter threw.
That's who went off
37 times, but he 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions.
I just bet the Browns if anything because the defense is gonna back up my ass, right? Oh, dude, I'd bet on the Browns against the Colts with Gardner. Gardner turns over the ball.
Gardner's going to throw into 3 interceptions.
Yeah, Gardner turns over the ball like crazy. I mean, the only thing I would not like in that game is the Browns' rush defense because Zach Moss in the checkdowns along with Jonathan Taylor, there's a lot of dynamic ability in the backfield. But outside of that, our dude Pittman ain't going to get shit in that
Moss
game.
Had 1 less attempt.
I wouldn't be shocked if the entire Colts offense had 150 yards.
Yeah, I mean, I
in that game.
Drake London did go off in this game, like I called. You said that Kyle Pitts was going to have a good game. We both said that Jonnu Smith was going to have a good game.
Kyle Pitts was only a matter of time. He was getting the targets. He was getting the targets.
That's how Drake London was. Drake London is the number one.
Drake London wasn't getting the targets though, because
he had 9 targets.
No. Prior to that, he wasn't. He was getting 2 to 3 a game, and he would catch one of them, and it was just sucking for him. So that one looked good. Minnesota, Chicago. I actually think we both had Chicago in this game.
Yeah, we did.
Because we said Minnesota had no reason to win this game.
No,
and Chicago had no reason to lose this game.
Yeah.
Which Minnesota sneaks by because their defense outplayed. Their defense of all things.
My team's going to be really bad for fantasy next week because I have 4 Vikings players and they're playing in prime time against the Niners. So I'm already going to chalk up next week as a loss for fans.
I would probably do that too.
It's gonna be bad.
Seattle and Cincy. I actually called Seattle to take this game.
I called Cincy.
This one was against my gut because I thought Cincy's offense would stall, which it did. I just didn't think their defense would outplay.
Cincy's all their offense for Cincy came in the first half. The second half, that Joe Burrow, everybody just looked bad. Joe Mixon could not get running. I think he had 60 rushing yards, maybe, if that. He did not look great.
Yeah, I mean they won 17-13.
He had 38 rushing yards. So, like we said, that's that Seattle rushing defense, right?
Yeah,
38 yards.
Well, you said you liked Joe Mixon in that game. I was like, hell no. Do not touch Mixon in that game.
I like Joe Mixon because I thought they were going to involve him more in the pass. He only had, I think, 3 receptions.
JSN had 4 for 48 though, which was nice.
Your boy Zosavas had one target.
That's your boy. You were all over.
Oh, no,
he had his first touchdown.
Yeah, I like Andre Zosavas. You like
Charlie Jones. And Charlie Jones is he's injured for the year because I really can't tell you why. I think they just have so many assets. They want to save this kid because when he had that kick return for a touchdown, that sparked their season.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
That kick return for a touchdown, didn't they beat the Steelers or they lose to the Steelers?
I have no idea.
I don't remember what game it was, but they had a kick return for the touchdown, and that sparked their season.
Was that the Cardinals game?
Maybe. That sparked their season. So, get out of that game. This game, oh yeah, that's upset number 1. Didn't go the way I thought it would go, right? Like, I did call it within 1 score. I did say that the Browns defense would be the reason they won this game.
I think you said 1 point.
I also said, yeah, I did. It was 28. I think I said 28-27 or something crazy.
1 point, same thing.
I did think that I also said if you keep CMC under 80 yards, we win the game. Not knowing they were going to knock out Debo.
Who called that CMC was going to get injured this game?
You did, actually. He did. Also, the Debo injury.
Not that I'm happy about that, but they run him a lot. It was a matter of time.
The Traquan or Tyquan. What was the left tackles?
Juwan Jennings.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
He was only out for...
I know, but he did get hurt.
Yeah,
that's hard when you're going up against Myles Garrett dealing with an injury.
Well, did you see as soon as he went out and their replacement came in, Myles Garrett went right there and he pushed that dude on his back the first play.
So
I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this.
I know that Jim Schwartz is laughing up a storm right now. Jim Schwartz had the best defense he's ever coached in the NFL.
This defense is night and day from last year with Joe Woods. I mean, it is just 2 different stories. So, it is insane.
I'm going to ask you these questions, and we're going to have a fight because me and you probably disagree. Did this expose the 49ers quarterback by Brock Purdy?
We kind of talked about it before, and I understand where you're coming from, but I'm going to stick with my initial reaction. I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so...
I think... So, not to...
He's still searching.
Not to hate on Brock Purdy, but...
Oh, race my dude.
I don't think Brock Purdy has as high of a ceiling as people are making it out to be.
Packers will beat the Broncos, but let's be honest. The Broncos are fighting for everything because if the Broncos lose, like Sean Payton sucks at this point.
Yeah.
And they're not on a fire sale. They're just trying to change up things. They don't have a first round. They don't have a first round pick next year.
For like 2 years.
So there's nothing for them to gain by winning and nothing for them to gain by losing at this point.
They don't have a first or a second next year.
So, but here's what I will say though. It's one of those games, right? If the Packers struggle coming off a bye and Aaron Jones doesn't play, Denver can win. They almost beat Kansas City.
Yes.
So,
excuse me.
And we all know how I feel about Kansas City right now, but I would say Kansas City's still better than the Packers.
You mean the refs?
So, but back into the Browns because someone likes to do this today, which I love. It's hilarious.
Brock Purdy, I don't think he has as high of a ceiling as people make it out to be.
Do you think he already hit his ceiling?
Yeah, I think.
Well, I would say winning 14 games in a row and like not losing a single regular season game might be a good ceiling.
I'm trying to find an area to put him at for his ceiling, and with the way these guys are playing right now, it's hard. But I'm gonna have to
Joe Montana.
No, he's like a Goff.
No. Go historical. Get out of this year.
Phillip Rivers. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but if you really look at the way both these guys have played, and I know we've only gotten like 16 games to see or 15 games to see.
I'm not opposed to that.
And I'm not
under stressful situations. Can he do it?
Exactly, and that's where the problem is with Phillip Rivers. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I loved Rivers.
I'll have to look at it.
Him and Marino are the two.
Shut up! Stop doing that comparison. That's why you said Phillip Rivers.
We did it on the show.
I know.
And
all right.
You took Rivers over Marino.
A fly pissing me off. I apologize, guys. That looked pretty funny on camera.
So what's?
I don't think it exposed him. What I think it did was it exposed that the duo between Shanahan and Jim Schwartz.
And Shanahan was talking up big. He's like, "Oh, I want to play in this weather. My team's ready to play in this weather."
I think with the way the Browns saw what Kittle was doing to Dallas last week, there was no way that defense was going to let that offense have any way with them. No way.
Jamar Chase and Chase Claypool have shown that you don't talk shit about the Browns because it doesn't end well that game that you play against them.
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of funny to be honest with you, but
so obviously there were some questionable calls for both teams, but at the end of the day,
here's the thing. Yes, the Browns finally got a call. But when they're throwing, I think there was like 25 penalties thrown that entire game.
There's gonna be
questionable calls.
Yeah,
and I will say that's the reason the Browns did take the lead. I'm not going to argue with that. But I will also say that, hey, the Browns traded a 5th-round pick to get a kicker and won by a kick against the best team in the NFL.
And what did we say last year? Most of these games come down to field goals in Cleveland. The last few years they have. And like we said about Justin Tucker, he is good for at least 3 wins a year.
I benched him.
Oh, you're dumb. He scored like 24.
The 1 week they decide to kick field goals.
He scored. You don't. That's like bench. All
right, moving on. Saints Texans. I went against my gut in this game, right? Like I chose the Saints because Derek Carr the Saints have been playing so much better than the Texans offensively, which is not saying a lot because both these offenses don't score. And the Texans won, and C.J. Stroud also threw his first interception.
Everyone was surprised when they yeah, I was surprised.
So obviously we didn't bring this up, but we keep forgetting to bring this up. Moody was from Michigan.
Yeah, and we're both Ohio State.
Moody should know how to kick on the lake. And he pushed it slight right, thinking the wind was going to push it back left.
Get the push.
And he just didn't get the win.
He must not have been looking at the Dawson flag.
Let's all be honest. That's a rookie in a game-winning situation against a very loud fan base.
Yeah, and his whole family was there, too.
So there's a lot of pressure on that kid.
That kid's going to be fine. I mean, I'm not hating on him.
Better than the Cody Parkey kicks that we got. Was it Cody Parkey or is it Cade York? Cade York. Cade York.
So many since Dawson.
Dude, Cade York, when he came in the NFL, like Cade York in college was great. Don't get me wrong. When he came in the NFL, all of a sudden, like his boots were flat.
Well,
like everything went straight, and I was like, "This is not a college."
You remember Blankenship out of Georgia? He was really good in college, and then he had like 1 or 2 good years in the NFL, and then he just fell off.
But yeah, outside of this, like, no Tank Dell. You had Nico show up again, which was great to see against that Saints defense. Nico did have some big catches.
Had like
Dalton
14.
Schultz, again, it's the go-to guy. We called that for C.J. Stroud.
I mean,
you could almost bet on Dalton Schultz at this point to get 4 receptions and 50 yards.
Yeah, I mean, so, that's remains to be.
You called Taysom Hill was a huge.
So you called that one.
No, I called it 2 weeks ago. You called it this past week. Taysom Hill was a huge impact in the Saints offense. Olave looked good, and I told you that. Olave is looking good downfield, but they couldn't get Michael Thomas going.
Yeah, Michael Thomas had his season low of 45 yards, but he's getting 4 to 5 targets a game, and he's catching.
And the Texans' defense is nothing to shy about because that's secondary.
Jennings showed up again. Juwan Jennings is a good. I don't want to say that Juwan Jennings is a wide receiver 3. I know Michael Thomas is on the team, but Juwan Jennings can be a good wide receiver 2. I think, is that Juwan Jennings?
No, it's San Fran.
I'm an idiot. Rashid Shaheed. I'm an idiot.
Rashid Shaheed is a solid 3.
One more on.
He's a solid 3. I mean, he's never going to be a number 2. He's a solid 3.
And with that wide receiver core, I mean, I think excels him because you're learning from.
He's like Terrace Marshall. Like, there's just so much ability when he gets the opportunity, but he doesn't get a lot of opportunity.
I invested so many.
That 50-50 ball he caught was amazing.
In Terrace
Speaking
Marshall.
of amazing 50-50 balls, God. Amari Cooper.
I'm surprised they didn't call him out. He was,
Wow. Anyways, moving on. Colts, Jacksonville. We called this one.
Yes.
We said Jacksonville was going to win this game. We still liked the Colts offense, but we knew Minshew. He turns over the ball. And he did just that.
That's what we said. We said the only way, I know this may be an oxymoron in the NFL for some people, but the only way is if Minshew takes care of the ball. Yep. And we'll talk about people who take care of the ball and win later on.
This also is a risky game if T-Law doesn't play Thursday. So that might have hurt them. And they kept him in too long.
Yeah, let me ask you this. You are 4-2. Do you just sit T-Law this Thursday and say, you know what, let's rest up?
We'll come back. Oh, don't
Jacksonville plays the Saints Thursday.
No, I gotta win this game because the Texans are on my tail. The Texans just beat the Saints, and you have to beat the team that beat that team. So they have to both have the same wins. If they lose to the Saints, now granted they'll both be tied for first, but they'll have lost to the team that Houston had won.
So I mean,
I think you have to if you go up, pull them.
If I'm in fantasy, regardless they start T-Law next week. I don't. I'm just going to say that real quick.
I'm starting T-Law.
I can't. Going back to that game, How about Travis Etienne? 2 touchdowns. He showed up big for that offense.
ETN is the number 1 running back in the NFL right now with scrimmage yards, and I think he's probably number 2 in scoring behind. No, he's got to be number. Nah, he might be behind Zach Moss. I'd have to look at that.
And Michael Pittman on the other side, 9 receptions, 109 yards. Zach Moss had one less carry than Jonathan Taylor. They could not get the ball rolling at all. They only had 44 rushing yards on the day.
I lied.
That is bad for that offense.
Okay, so touchdowns. Mostert, 9 on the year. CMC, 7. Kenneth Walker, 6. Kyron Williams, 6. Monty, 6. Achane, 5. ETN, 5. Zach Moss, 4.
Okay. And then Zach Moss was second on the Colts with 6 receptions, right behind 3 behind Michael Pittman. So that they're still involving him. So you know what? You at this.
It's
point,
a run-first offense. So,
but at this point, you almost have to start. If you have both JT and Moss, you have to start both. I know you said you are.
Let's get into a funny game that we almost called. Carolina, Miami. We said Carolina had the ability to win this game and score points because their defense was better than what Miami's used to seeing. And Carolina put up like 30 points. No, it was like 20-something points. 21 points to 42. Now, granted, that 42 came late. They were just slinging the ball. They actually put in Daddy White to finish the game. So they pulled Tua. They didn't want to get him injured. They pulled Mostert. Didn't want to get him injured. I don't think they pulled their receivers because they don't have many receivers.
Let's talk about a guy who has been revitalized since he left Minnesota, and that is Adam Thielen. He's got 11 receptions, 115 yards and a touchdown. I think he might be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy.
Well, and Chuba.
Chuba,
19 carries, 88 yards, which is a little over 4 yards a carry, a touchdown.
I know they have Miles Sanders. I really
Miles out.
I know, but I didn't really understand the Miles Sanders signing because Hubbard was good for them last year. But I think
No, you're not going to. Black Shear's not the guy.
No, I think
they even ran Chenault one time. It was weird.
Hubbard needs to be the number 1. I know he's not.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. But I think the more that Bryce Young plays better. Like, Bryce had a great game. 23 for 38, 217 yards and a touchdown. Didn't turn over the ball. Again, not hard to do against this Miami defense, which is trash.
That was a good game for Bryce after the previous 2 games. That was a good, let's get back. Let's gain some confidence. I know they lost, but the Panthers, I'm telling you right now, I don't think I had the Panthers winning more than 3 games this year. So they're about on par for where we see them at.
Right. All right. So, let's get into that New England Las Vegas Raiders game.
We called this.
We said New England was going to battle, but New England has everything to lose. Literally to lose. They need to gain everything. They gain everything by losing. The Raiders won this game, but did they really? Jimmy Garoppolo's out.
Jimmy's done.
So is he done?
Jimmy's
what
done
was the injury? Because they took him to the hospital for a back injury. So
I'm thinking. I haven't heard anything, but I'm guessing he's going to be out. He might be on the IR because if you get taken away in the ambulance to the hospital immediately, it's usually pretty bad.
And Devontae Adams took a licking in this game too, but he came back and played. And he's been dealing with injury. So I would be shocked if Devontae didn't ask for a trade.
Aiden was out. So they threw him by Brian Hoyer, who was 6 for 10, 102 yards, no touchdown, no interception. Jacobs had 25 carries, so that's great to see.
So do you think they start? Do you think they start Hoyer over Aiden?
Yeah, well, Aiden's out right now, so I'm not sure if it's injury or anything. But he was out this game. He was a I don't know if he was a healthy
a healthy scratch,
but he wasn't even on the bench.
Okay.
Michael Mayer led the.
Michael Mayer looked good.
Michael Mayer and Jacoby led the team in receptions, but the thing is. With the game, if it's Jacoby Myers and Aiden O'Connell, Aiden does not target Jacoby in the game that they played together with.
Yeah, but he didn't play much.
And right now, Jacoby Myers is putting up wide receiver 1 numbers.
Well, it's because Devontae is taking double coverage, and that's normal in teams like that.
But fantasy, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, no, I definitely Jacoby's a start every week.
Devontae has had some bad games.
Oh yeah, how was quarterback play for New England?
Hold on, let me go to that. I don't think it was good.
No, Mac Jones threw an interception in first quarter.
24 for 33 and an interception. And Malik Cunningham was 0 for 0.
They
couldn't run the ball. Kendrick Bourne showed up, 10 receptions, 89 yards.
On my bench. It's exhausting.
He's going to be a big waiver wire pickup.
No, he should already be picked. 34-24 Patriots.
But they already played 21-17.
You need to come back on Sunday. On Saturday.
You're making my brain hurt.
21-17 Raiders.
Imagine if this is just
You had it right. You had it right.
Oh.
Just an FYI. You did. The Raiders did win that game. No, this was for this past week.
I'm confused.
That was for this past week, bro. Past week.
Excuse me?
These are past week's games. See, there he is. There he is.
There we go. He's back
We're
with
going
us.
over what happened this past week. Recap, because you made us jump into Sunday early, and then we bounced back. Yeah, Monday early,
Okay.
and then we're bouncing back and going over what some of the things you need to keep an eye on, because like Mike Evans came back in this game. Sam Laporta didn't play too much in this game.
Amon-Ra showed up like Amon-Ra is.
Yep. So
Amon-Ra showed everybody that is on Jamison Williams.
Jared Goff's probably going to be the MVP from here on out. It's looking like.
Dude, who called Detroit? You know, all the media is like, wow, we're really surprised.
I need like an animation where your head just starts to
just
explodes. I gotta clean my walls when I leave here.
I think it was this guy. You know, I love Detroit. I said it from last year to this year. This team is going to make people realize and respect them. And with all the primetime games they're getting, they're going to win. And
they've actually won almost every primetime game.
Yeah, they're doing the
5-1.
They're doing the opposite of the Giants.
Thank God they don't play Cleveland. All right, next game, Arizona Rams. What did you like in this game?
Nothing. I didn't like anything. This was a weird game.
It was a weird game. Arizona is showing that they don't have a quarterback in Josh Dobbs. It's finally exposed. They played a good defensive front. Josh Dobbs ran for his life. Didn't have a bad day, but he didn't throw a single touchdown. He threw the ball 41 times for 235 yards and 1 interception. Mike Wilson was there, but didn't get any single. There's 3 receptions for 62. Trey McBride was their number 1. We were talking about him. Remember, I asked you where was he on the depth chart?
He showed up. They must have been listening to us.
Yeah,
Finally, they're like, all right, you better get out there. They're getting mad over here.
It looked good all around for the offense, but them in the red zone with not having a run.
When your quarterback and his name's not Lamar Jackson is leading you in rushing, that is not a viable way to win.
It's also the run game, right? Like Keontae Ingram, 10 for 40. Damian Williams, 8 for 36. All their guys are averaging 4 to 5 yards a carry, but they're not getting downfield.
This team, I think, is now on the let's suck for draft picks.
They could be. I mean, I think you need offensive linemen. If Kyler's coming back, you're keeping Kyler Murray. I think you need offensive linemen. You got to protect him.
Oh, yeah. You need offensive
You have
linemen.
the weapons.
You need, I think, this will be the offseason they go after a running back, but we'll talk about that later in the year.
And like we said, Zach Evans, Kyron Williams is down for this upcoming
Zach
Sunday.
Evans has to play, right? You have
so
to
I think you got
to
to see a shot for Zach Evans, but this will be a huge Higbee, Cooper, Puka.
Puka did struggle in this game.
He's struggling with catching, but like he'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is a good defense. The Arizona defense is what it used to be, which is exciting to see, but the offense is a shell of itself without Kyler on the field.
Yep.
And Josh Dobbs, love the kid, but this is why he's a backup.
He showed how he was traded for, a 6th-round draft pick?
That's why he's a backup.
Yeah.
It's why he's a backup.
It's no hate.
What up, peeps?
The guy was great when he played at college in Tennessee. I mean, he bounced around the league. This is, I think, his 6th start.
Yeah, this was his 6th start this year, and I think he's played very well.
He's played to where they expected him to, right? They weren't expecting to make playoffs. They weren't expecting to win multiple.
I think
games
they're
with this
expecting
kid.
at least. Well, I don't. We don't. We thought they were going 0-6 because it was looking like they were tanking. So we really don't
They
know.
might be now.
They technically should be 3-3.
Yeah.
Because they should have won the first game. They should have won the second game, and then they won the third game. It was weird. Well, we all thought that they were tanking, and then all of a sudden they win the third game. No. We're only going to tank this much.
Against Dallas. They beat Dallas nonetheless.
Called this game. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I took Philly by 3, or Philly to win by 3.
Somebody bet against my thoughts. How dare you?
We'll go back over it, Cardi.
What did we already get tonight's locks, or am I still game? We'll go back over it. Yeah,
don't worry.
Let's finish this game, and then we'll get into the prime time, and then we'll go right into it for you guys.
So this was a game that we both said if Zach Wilson was smart with the ball, they could definitely win, and that's what he did. No turnovers.
186 yards. Breece Hall had the touchdown, 12 carries. He looks good. He's dynamic, but they did stop him. He struggled getting off. Dalvin Cook, I think, was in the reception game. Tyler Conklin, Garrett Wilson looked phenomenal in this game.
We called both those guys.
Breece Hall was in the receiving game. Breece 5 for 54. So Breece still got his. I think it was almost 100 yards.
And then
Lazard got a catch.
Oh, what was that?
1 for 8.
Catch?
I don't know, maybe. It's not looking good for him.
And then the Eagles, Devontae Smith, I feel like is struggling as of late. The last couple of games, I don't know if there's something going on, or I know you got AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert. Like we said, there's a lot of mouths to feed, so there's always going to be someone who doesn't get theirs. But I feel like
you said something the other day.
Devontae Smith has been
remember
the
what
third
team.
wheel.
I don't remember what team it was, but you said they had an identity crisis. There was a team where you're like, I don't know who their identity is. Maybe it was the Colts. There was a team you were talking about. But you're like, I think they're in an identity crisis right now. And right now, for Philly.
No, that was Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I said, has an identity crisis.
Maybe.
They don't know who they are right now.
Maybe. For Philly, I think they're in an identity crisis because, like you said with mouths to feed, right? You have Kenneth Gainwell, you have Boston Scott, you have DeAndre Swift, you have Rashard Penny, right? Rashard Penny's like a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
You got AJ Brown, you got Dallas Goedert, you got Devonta Smith. Okay, these are all guys that are high target assets and are very good at their job.
Yeah.
Then you have a soft quarterback who is capable of throwing with accuracy downfield.
But also is pertinent to turnovers, which we have seen. He has 13 now?
I actually think he has more turnovers than touchdowns officially.
And that is not good.
So
that is not a good. Turnovers obviously include interceptions and fumbles, both as turnovers. Is how a lot of people only look. Oh, it's only interceptions. No, you got to include those fumbles because guess what? If they're not recovering those and you're giving them to the other team, that is hurting you.
So he's 7 for 7 on passing touchdowns to interceptions.
Okay, so 1-to-1. That is not big money number. You got to remember how much this guy's making, right?
And then he is 5-1 on touchdowns to fumbles lost. So
he's 12-8.
Yeah.
Which still isn't. That is not good.
Still not good, but it's not bad.
I'm sorry, but if you're making, I think he's making $32 million. That is not $32 million with the quarterback.
That's actually going to be my question of the week after the show. But then we'll move on from here. Like we called this upset. I called this upset. And the reason I called this upset is because the Jets defense is so good that really it came down to A.J. Brown again. A.J. Brown did everything he could to try to win this game, and they couldn't get over the hump because the red zone, A.J. Brown's getting doubled.
And Devontae Smith is dropping balls. It's not good.
Well, they're very tight passes. Like Jalen's not giving him any room to receive.
Well, you also went up against the Jets secondary. So Sauce
wasn't in the game.
Oh yeah,
no Sauce the whole day.
Oh my gosh.
So the fact they beat him without Sauce, the defensive rookie of the year last year,
I forgot he was out. He was out. Yeah.
So I'm not an Eagles fan right now, and don't get me wrong, it's not about like. Right now, the OC and the DC has not proven to me what they're capable of. I did say they were coming into their stride. They were looking good. But then all of a sudden, they got off the run game and started slinging it. And the team just hasn't looked the same.
No, I don't know.
And that's because Jalen Hurts is the best game-managing quarterback in the NFL.
I'm happy someone said it because I feel the same way.
The best game-managing quarterback in the NFL. He's not a guy I don't think you can lean on. He can sling it. I'm not arguing with that.
Oh, yeah, he can. But the problem is can you give him the ball?
It's decision making. It's decision making.
Yeah, it's just I feel he has a confidence issue when it comes to late game decisions.
Brandon texted me last night. He goes, "What is it with you and black quarterbacks?" I go, "Hey, Brock Purdy's in that list for me." Right? Brock Purdy is a very good quarterback.
Russell Wilson was in the list. Russell Wilson was in our list.
He's black.
That's what I'm saying. He was in our list.
No, he's just saying, what's your hatred for these guys that should be at the top of the tier? I did have Russell Wilson up towards the top because of the fact that he's playing great. There's not winning games.
Off of stats for the season.
All right, let's get into the Sunday night. Anything that you hated here, loved here?
The Bills should have lost.
I was going to do a screen share for Twitter for that one holding call that they didn't call on Darren Waller. But
how do you expect the guy
can I defend myself on this one? Because I actually think that was a good no call. And the reason I think that was a good no call is because Darren Waller started with grabbing the jersey first. So it was hand fighting and you're within 5 yards. It's a very hard call in the end zone. And once the ball was thrown, I think Darren Waller had him beat. The problem was it was a bad throw. It's a very hard catch.
When Tyrod Taylor, your backup's in, that's going to happen.
It's a very hard catch.
The Bills offense is struggling right now. They're kind of, I think,
No, the Giants defense looked great.
but they have been one of the bottom of the barrel defenses this year. The Bills have not looked good these last 2 weeks. I mean, ever since they're still jet
James
lagged.
Cook had I was listening to a little bit of McAfee today. I didn't look at this, but last week James Cook had negative
-4
5 yards negative 4 yards on 5 carries. And it's now Latavius Murray, the 31-year-old running back, is now their starting running back. So they just have no Daboll's seat getting warm. I disagree with this.
Brian Dable's if anybody's seat's getting warm, it's not Brian Dable's. You got to remember, Brian Dable has been without Barkley for what, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Danny Dimes is not the quarterback.
Daniel Jones might be out for the next 3 weeks.
He's probably going to be out. So I don't think they're not going to move off Dable this quickly, because I think you saw what Dable can do with a bad quarterback, and yes, Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback.
And also keep in mind, Dable's the only reason that Daniel Jones got a job.
Exactly.
So I think you have to keep Dable for at least the next year.
If not, Jimmy G would have been here, or another quarterback obviously would have been here 100%. I think this is a team that's going to be going into the draft with a quarterback in mind. I know they just paid Daniel Jones, but...
Well, here's the thing. It's a now or never, right? You got a young running back. You have a running back, right?
This draft, you need to go get a guy, because there's multiple guys that can be valid
Is this a team that like super needs a wide receiver though? Because we have so many mid-tier wide receivers.
You can handle some of that. I mean, T. Higgins is going to be out there.
You could handle some of that in the offseason. I agree with that.
I mean, there's areas on this team that you can handle in the offseason, and you can handle that in the draft. You can get a good second-round wide receiver. Wandale showed up in this game. He had a good game with Tyrod. I think they definitely need to find a younger wide receiver core and get that surrounded with Daniel Jones or the quarterback that's going to be coming in. You just have Saquon Barkley coming back. Did they pay him?
Saquon got a 1 year, $13 million deal. So, but he's going to be a free agent next year.
Yeah. So I mean, this would be a team that I would bank them on going quarterback, because Daniel Jones has not been it ever since he came out. Other than last year, and that was because of Dable and the way they were running the system. I think there's a lot of questions to be answered this offseason for this entire coaching staff, along with the owners. They have to figure out who and what they are going to do in the future.
How many of you people out there are loving the fact that someone drafted Dalton Kincaid as the number 1 tight end in your dynasty drafts, and he's not even on the field?
No, I hated that pick by Buffalo. I hate that pick. Made no sense for me. My jaw dropped when they took Kincaid.
Dawson Knox 3 for 17, and no Kincaid. No Kincaid anywhere to be found. Gabe 3 for 21. Stephon Diggs 10 for 100.
So honestly,
and touchdown came from Quentin Morris and Deontay Hardy.
I don't know if Kincaid was overrated, but they took him way earlier than I think they should. I don't think this team.
He was overrated. You and Steve were high on Kincaid.
No. He was high. I liked Mayer.
Okay, and I was Laporta. Laporta was my one.
Yeah, you're right. I was Laporta because we both love Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta was my one. I know that Steve was Dalton Kincaid, and then Ryan was Michael Mayer, and my comp to Michael Mayer was Jason Witten.
And my comp to Laporta was Kittle, because obviously
Hawkinson was mine.
Okay,
because I liked the route running ability and all that stuff out of him.
And Laporta, I said in that first game, against the Chiefs, I think that Kincaid will be the best rookie tight end to come out of this draft this year, and so far I seem to have been right about that.
I'd probably put money on it. Dable will be there next year.
Yes.
Daniel Jones will be there next year. Saquon Barkley might get a contract. They might let him walk because it's a situation where they need to figure out the identity of their team next year. And if they are going to pay Saquon, it's going to put them at risk for paying anybody else. So they might look at a running back in the 2nd or 3rd round next year. There is running backs coming in this draft. They're just not. They're not the same running backs that came in this last draft.
And the Giants have an out after 2025.
Yes, yeah. But that's why I said you have one more year with Dable and Jones. So 2024, you have.
They're not getting rid of.
You have Dable and Jones for one more year. It was a great contract. Daniel Jones came off a great year. They didn't want him to walk to another team and then be successful. So you take that slight contract. It wasn't that bad. Let's get into tonight's game because that's what I know that Cardi was looking at. So let's get into tonight's game, and that is the Dallas Chargers race. We're bouncing back over this game for you. I know you don't want to hear it, so if you want to chime out, peace out. I hope you have a great day.
So I have the Chargers,
and I have Dallas,
and you have Dallas. I think
24-22.
I think Eckler has 150 all-purpose yards. I think he is involved all over the field.
I don't disagree with this. I said 110. I said 60 rushing, 50 receiving.
I think
so. I do not disagree with this statement.
Yeah, I obviously think Keenan Allen's going to have about 60 to 80 yards and 5 to 8 receptions.
You have Herbert for 1 interception.
2 passing touchdowns, 250 yards, 25 completions for 37 attempts. So I think they're going to both throw the ball a lot. Dak Prescott, I have throwing 2 interceptions.
So you would recommend going with a DK booster tonight? What's that?
DraftKings booster, yeah. It boost the same game parlay. I know also Bet365 does a 50% profit boost. I use them a lot.
Yes. That bet right there, I'll take Pollard for over 80 and I'll take Eckler for over, I think, what did you say, it was 56.5?
Yeah. Take both of them.
I would take them both.
Yeah, Pollard's going to be involved in the check down game because they don't have, outside of Ferguson, they really don't have a guy to check it down to because most of their wide receivers are all downfield.
It's whatchamacallit.
He's out, remember?
Who?
The other tight end we said.
No, running back.
It's not Zeke. He's not there no more.
No, it's the Dowdle. Rico Dowdle.
Rico.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Rico Dowdle.
I think it's Rico Dowdle.
I think it's Rico.
So
I would take.
They haven't gotten Deuce Vaughn involved at all.
No. It's just this is a kind of a prove it game for the Chargers, right? They have to win.
Chargers defense is 4th overall. I disagree with that.
Brandon Staley has to. I think he's on the hot seat.
Oh my God! Now you can hear the fly. The fly buzzed into the mic.
I heard that.
Oh my God! This fly is pissing me off.
CeeDee, you like CeeDee Lamb?
I don't know. I don't know the prop bets in this. I like CeeDee for over 80. Dak has to throw for 220 today. I
take the over. I think the over for Eckler was 56.5, and I think the over for Pollard was 62 or 65.5. I would take the over for both them.
I would take the over on both. I would agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would. I'd stay away from first touchdowns. That's super hard.
To be honest, I would probably the over for Keenan Allen is probably 76. I'd probably take that too.
Real quick.
I'd probably take that too. He's the one that lost me over $1,500 last year by a yard.
Yeah,
a yard. You couldn't jump 3 feet. I was so mad about that one. A yard. I had every parlay. Everything in the parlay was hit. It was a yard. And maybe that's why I'm betting against them right now. Might be. There's just this frustration that Keenan Allen screwed me last time.
Hold on, I got to find it. I'm pulling it up here.
So, yeah, I mean...
Of course, my phone's going to go slow now.
I know. I hate the verification process, too, on most of these apps because you have to verify what state you're in. And if you're in a basement...
I can't pull it up. So.
And if you're in a basement, it sucks. But...
Gun to head, who is your anytime first touchdown?
Gun to head. I love
Eckler.
it.
I think they're going to involve Eckler early.
Gun to head. You know what?
Eckler.
No. The tight end for the Chargers.
Parham?
No. It could be Parham over Everett. Gerald Everett. I'll give Gerald Everett this one because I think everybody's going to be so focused.
See, now you're going to screw because we both said different guys.
No, I think it's Gerald Everett. I think everybody's going to be so focused on Eckler, and then you're obviously going to cover.
Wrong.
You're obviously going to cover Allen.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So especially in the red zone.
Or you see this as a Quentin Johnston game.
I really think it depends on the snap because I will say that Dallas wins the snap, they will score on the first drive.
My biggest issue is the injury to Herbert.
Well, that's why I said to you. So here's the issue with Herbert, right? Like, I don't think Herbert will be a bad Herbert. I just think Herbert's going to throw less.
Yeah, he's not going
less long down the field passes because you won't have as much time. He's going to want to get rid of the ball more. So that's why I love Austin Eckler in the receiving game. I really do.
That's why.
And that's why I like both tight ends tonight, Parham and Gerald Everett. I like both of them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to anytime touchdown, I do not like to do first touchdown scores, but you guys like to bet. If I were to put money on it, it'd probably be Everett or Pollard.
Okay.
It depends on who wins the coin toss. Because I think both teams will.
That's the hardest thing.
I think both teams will drive down the field and score a touchdown their first drive.
So
and then it's going to slow
you
down.
can also take a prop bet first drive
touchdown over field goal.
First drive first down. Chugging over here. So I think that's all we have.
I'm super thirsty
tonight on this game and the recap.
If you have any other questions, let us know real quick.
Yeah.
But here I have a question for you for the current season that we are in. Flies are pissing me off down here right now. It's driving me insane. I don't know where they're coming from. What quarterbacks are being paid the money and are worth it right now?
Jared Goff is getting paid like $24 million. He's worth it.
I think Lamar's worth it. He's earning his contract.
I would have to agree that Lamar's worth it.
I still think Jalen Hurts is worth it because his rushing touchdowns.
I don't. I think
he's not getting paid much. He might be making
like $34 million.
That's more. It's less than Daniel Jones, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Russell Wilson all combined.
Let me look at all the.
Let's go to Spotrac. Spotrac that shit. Let's go to NFL.
So Patrick Mahomes is making $37 million. He's not. He is not. He is worth it. Ryan Tannehill making $36.6 million. He is not worth it.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Jared Goff making $31 million. He's worth it right now, 100%. I would have to agree with that.
Where'd you find that at?
Just look up
top salaries.
Yeah. Dak Prescott is at $26.8 million. Do you think he's worth that?
No. Right now? No.
I do not. Okay. Lamar Jackson's $22 million is how much.
I'm just gonna listen.
I'm just doing cap hit.
Well, no. So, what's this year's pay? Isn't there a?
This is their cap hit for this year.
Cap hit for 2023.
Yeah.
So I have to hit the arrow. Oh, I guess I have to hit the arrow. All right. So Mahomes has the highest cap hit.
Yeah. He's at 37.1 mil. He's worth it.
He's worth it because he's got a 2-to-1 ratio right now, and he's still winning games.
Tannehill not 36.
Tannehill is the second highest paid quarterback in 2023. That's for all you guys out there that think it's Deshaun Watson still.
Yeah. $31 million is Goff, and I would have to say he's worth it right now. They're 5-1.
I agree.
I mean, he's
MVP. He's only the third highest paid.
So Dak Prescott is 26.8, so we'll call it 27 million. He's not worth it. Lamar Jackson's only making 22 million, and I think he's worth it for right now with the way that team's playing and the injuries that he has dealt with all season already.
Lamar's worth it.
Russell Wilson, 22 million. He's
worth
not.
it. He's worth it. We just said he was in the top 10 of quarterbacks with statistics.
You take out that last game, yes, he's worth it.
I think he's worth it.
As of right now, Kirk Cousins, 20.2 million.
He's worth it.
He's worth it. Then you have Matt Stafford, 20 million. That's hard.
It's hard because his receivers are so good, right? I just don't know.
And this is cap hit, so that's what we're going off of.
I just don't know with his receivers.
I played the fifth on this one.
I'm going to say no, not worth it, because he's not the reason they're winning games or losing games, right? Like, he's not playing that well. But at the same time, he's playing good enough to win some games. But I just not worth it. Not worth $20 million.
And then Joe Burrow, we're gonna do. Do you still want to do the top 15? Joe Burrow is $19.5 million. I would say
Joe Burrow's worth it. And the only reason I'm gonna say he's worth it because the last two games, he's actually put up stats. He's put up points.
Yeah, I would have to say he's worth it. Deshaun Watson, $19 million. That's
not worth it. Not worth it.
He's not.
And that's being a Browns fan. I think he's going to be worth it? Yes.
But
is he currently worth it? Not worth it. Not worth it.
Josh Allen's making 18.
100% number one quarterback in the NFL right now. He's worth it.
Kyler Murray, $16 million. He's not.
Can't argue it.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is at 15.4. He's not worth it.
So we're at 13th overall quarterback. The question is, are the quarterbacks below him better than him?
Trevor Lawrence is
I would say yes. So I'll say Daniel Jones is not worth it. I'll say Daniel Jones not worth it because the next quarterback's Geno Smith and he's making $5 million less.
And he's worth that $10 million.
I think Geno Smith, he's a game manager. He's worth $10 million.
Tua is worth a 9.6. Zach Wilson is 9.5.
Well, T-Law, Tua, Zach, And
Rodgers.
all those guys are on rookie contracts.
Yeah.
T-Law, Tua, and Zach are on rookies.
Jacoby Brissett, you can't say anything because
He's not worth it, though. You're paying it back up $8.5 million.
How about Justin Herbert? He's worth it. $18.4 million. That dude's not making anything.
Justin Herbert? Where?
20th.
He's in a rookie deal. He gets paid this year. That's why.
No, they already extended him. He gets paid. It starts next year.
That's what I'm saying. So
Derek Carr, I would have to say 7.2. Yeah, he's worth that.
he's worth more than Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Bryce Young, 6.9.
He's a rookie. It's a rookie contract
so
deal.
we're just not going to say anything. Tyrod Taylor.
Already earning his money.
Yeah.
They should have won the game.
Jimmy G, 6.7. I would say he's worth that.
Good old Glass Jaw Smith. We have something extremely important to bring up next segment.
This is our last segment. You better bring it up.
Good old Glass Jaw Smith.
That's my buddy Aaron, remember?
Yeah, but who's Jaw Smith? Who's Glass Jaw Smith?
Geno Smith?
We were talking. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, better bring it up because we're closing it out with this segment. Overpaid quarterbacks.
Anthony Richardson, 6.1.
Speaking of overpaid quarterbacks,
speaking of
it
Anthony
might be Taylor Heineke next week.
Or Jacoby Brissett, since he's making 8.5
No,
million.
it's Sam Howell. It's still Sam Howell.
And then
At this point, you can't. Everybody's underpaid at this point.
Yeah,
Mac Jones, I guess you could say, is overpaid.
let's talk about Anthony Richardson real quick. I think they would be smart just to do the surgery this year and count this year as, let's just wash it.
Okay, we'll get it. Aaron, we'll get into that in a second. We'll get into it in a second. Well, I'll get into it because I called this yesterday.
Yes, you called.
I actually went through the Jets schedule. I said all they have to do is win this week, and their schedule's looking easy for Aaron to come back week 10.
Yes.
And Aaron's throwing the ball with no crutches. You're looking like week 10, bro.
That's what we said.
You're looking like week 10.
They can. And what did I say? It would be hilarious for him to come back just not to hit that 65% snap percentage or 60% snap percentage for the Jets to give the Packers a first-round pick. That would be hilarious.
Week 8 shoot. What about no, that's a winnable game. Here, I'll look into it real quick. Because we went over this last time, and I was super adamant that they can win 11 games on this season with that defense right now. Especially since Sauch was out the last game and they won. I'm not going to say a lot about who
the Giants, they're going to win. Then you play the Chargers. Both those games are winnable.
I think everything that they're playing is winnable
you play
because
the Raiders, that's winnable. Then you play the Bills, that's winnable.
That one might be the hardest one, right?
Then you go against the Dolphins.
That's hugely winnable. The Dolphins have not played a good defense.
And then you play the Falcons.
The Dolphins played a good defense. It was Buffalo, and they lost.
Yeah.
But you had to put up 48 points
so
still.
These are next names. Giants win. Let's go over this real quick. Giants win.
Oh, no. No, he's not coming back week 8. He still has to have mobility. So, he's still got to cut. He's still got to run. He's walking. He's not running on that Achilles right now. Week 10. Because week 8's in 2 weeks. He's not coming back in 2 weeks.
Giants win.
So is it next week? Is the Giants?
October 29th.
Week 7? That's week 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's week 7?
They're a bye. I think they're on a bye right now.
Are they on a bye this week?
Yeah, they're on a bye.
Okay, so they're on a bye week 7. Okay, so we're good there.
Yep, Giants.
So in 2 weeks is the Giants.
Yep, win.
That's a win. That's a win without Rodgers.
Chargers at home.
Chargers in New York or New Jersey?
In New Jersey, November 6th, 8:15. So primetime game.
That's a win.
Yep.
That's a win. I'll give them a win on that one because I think the Chargers are going to struggle in that game with no Mike Williams.
Another primetime game in Las Vegas. Raiders. That's a win.
There's no Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that defense is going to shut down whoever steps on that field. But if it is Hoyer's capable of making good plays with Devontae Jacoby. It'd be the best wide receiver core Brian Hoyer's ever had.
Probably.
So that
Bills.
might be an on the fence one for me.
Yeah, and then you got the Bills, 425 in Buffalo.
That's the week Aaron Rodgers comes back. That's week 10.
That'd be amazing. And then you go at home against the Finns.
If Aaron's back,
a 3:00 game, so that's Saturday.
If Aaron is back on Buffalo and he's still healthy for the Finns, those are winnable games, both of them.
And then you go Falcons win.
But
Texans
here's the thing, bro.
Dolphins,
Commanders,
Browns.
You got to get past the Browns defense to win the AFC.
Yeah.
And if the Browns,
That's gonna
if
be
the Browns offense is looking somewhat good, going into week 16, we play the Jets.
Second to last game, yeah.
That could be a wild card
Come
battle.
to Cleveland, Aaron. Let's go watch the Jets game.
That could be a wild card battle.
That would be amazing.
That literally could be a wild card battle. So whoever wins that game could be who earns the wild card at the time. So
One of those motorized scooters. What are you saying? He's gonna throw it?
this ain't the Special Olympics, bro. All right, we're gonna get out of here though.
Yeah,
We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get into Thursday, and we are going to go over what Cardi brought up, which was Coach Hot Seats on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll bring that up Thursday.
We're going to go over top 10 and Coach Hot Seats. So that'll be a fun conversation. And we are not doing a Sunday show this week. We are going to do a Saturday morning show this week. So for all you guys out there, this way it makes my life easier. I'm not standing here staring and talking to a wall
Yeah, that's why
by
I figured it'd
myself.
make it easier for you. What time do you want to go live Saturday?
He said it's the Jets. It is the Special Olympics. So Saturday we will be early.
8.
I would just say 8.
Okay, we'll go 8.
We'll go 8 Saturday before the college games, and actually give me an easy Sunday for once. All right, so you guys have a wonderful week. Be safe out there, and I hope that you guys win some bets tonight. To be honest with you, Wheels needs some money.
Yeah, like, subscribe, share.
Him and I can only afford the clothes you see us in every 3 days a week.
Yeah.
We only have 3 shirts, so.
And 3 shorts and 3.
I'm half the time I'm not wearing any pants.
I do have like 6. I think I have 28 hats.
He does have more hats than he does pants. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. Peace out.
Later.